Hello everybody, my name is Tanya and this is the book swag tag. So this tag was just created by Patty over at I Smell Books, and I was tagged both by Patty herself and by Jo at Jo Reads Books. So this tag is to highlight all the things you own that are bookish that aren't actually books. I'm going to try and keep it brief, talking about each thing, but if there's anything you want further information about, please let me know down in the comments because I'll be more than happy to provide further details to things. I'm just conscious that there's a lot. And the first category is any clothing you own. So I've got a fair few t-shirts that I have. The first shirt that I'm going to show is the one that I'm wearing at the moment, and it says Bibliophilian. Then I've got some pyjamas, so I've got a nightie that says one book down, 1 bazillion to go. It's getting very old and faded, but it's well loved. Then I have another set of pyjamas. This one is so many books, so little bedtime. So we've got the t-shirt, and then the pants are all books and lamps. Again, these are really faded but well loved. If you watch my August wrap up and my September TBR, you'll already know that I have one of the Book Riot Read Harder shirts. I have a Very Hungry Caterpillar shirt, which is one of my favourites as a kid. Like Patty, I wear a lot of these t-shirts to bed. They're really great makeshift nighties. I've got a Don Quixote shirt that I got in Spain when I was there last year. And I've got some shirts that are from some webcomics that I follow. So the first one is called Questionable Content. So the shirts that I've got from that are She Blinded Me with Library Science, and I Feel Pretty. I think it's a giant isopod. This is a shirt that one of the characters wears, and this is a ridiculously oversized thing, but definitely great as a nightie. Defeat Awkwardness with Maximum Ridiculosity, and this is based on a comic where these two characters are in a bar together and they don't actually know each other all that well, so they got into suits to diffuse the awkwardness. I really should have turned these all in the right way before I started filming. And then the second webcomic that I've got some swag from is Hark a Vagrant. And the first one is I'm excited for somebody to invent the t-shirt. And the second one from Hark a Vagrant is the Sherlock Holmes and Watson's t-shirt. We've got Sherlock in the middle, that's normal Watson over this side, and then this is dumb Watson over here. And she's got a few about Watson. There's also a gay Watson. I have toyed with getting some of her prints before, particularly Dude Watching with the Brontes, which is my favourite of her comics. I'll leave a link to that one down below. And I think that's all my clothing. So the second category is bags or purses or totes. And so I've got a couple of things for this. I think there are more that I own, but I can't find them at the moment. But the ones I do have here are this tote bag, which says, if it's beautiful, it's bound to be vintage. And this has got the Alice in Wonderland legs from the Vintage Classics version of the book. Came across another tote bag today that says To Read is to Live, and it's from Allen and Unwin, so I must have got this at a bookstore as well. I also have this book bag or book pouch that I use to put my books in my handbag or in the tote that I carry to work, just to keep them a little bit safer. War and Peace didn't fit in this and I was very sad. I think they do make an A4 size one that I will have to go and invest in perhaps at some point in time. And the last thing that I have that sort of fits into the category of bag, because it is a cover for my Kindle. It's not actually on my Kindle at the moment, I'm not using it, but it is cute. And it's this monster Kindle cover. So I found this on Etsy. There's a store that makes monster Kindle covers. So the clasp is the tongue of the monster. It's got teeth here and mismatched eyes, and it's just a quilted one that you tuck the Kindle into. So number 3 is bookmarks, and there's only really one bookmark that I use regularly at the moment. I'm so in love with that one and so happy with it that I just keep coming back to it. And this is this book rug. It's just a little carpet. On the back it just says bookrug.com. So this has been my main go-to bookmark for quite a while now, and I'm really happy with it. I like it a lot. Moving on to kitchenware, I have another thing from the Questionable Content merchandise, and this is a drink bottle that has a picture of pint size. Here's an Anthro PC on it, and it says, I am full of delicious liquid. I've also got quite a number of mugs. I bought quite a few of these penguin mugs, so I've got these as like a visitor set at home. So we've got 1984, Body in the Library by Agatha Christie, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, Casebook of Sherlock Holmes, Arthur Conan Doyle, The Big Sleep by Raymond Chandler, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, and finally The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells. Also in this theme I have The Labours of Hercules tea towel, or Hercule. So it looks like this. And there's another tea towel that we have that I can't find right at the moment, and it's a Macbeth one, and it's got blood stains on it, and it says out, out, foul spot. So if I can find a picture online, which I'm sure I will, I'll try and put it up here somewhere so you can see what that one looks like. I really like that too. And the last thing that I'm counting in kitchenware, because they're on the fridge and that's part of the kitchen obviously, I have a couple of magnets. So I have a Miffy reading magnet. I got this in the Delft factory in Delft in the Netherlands when I was there last year. And a little, hopefully you can see that okay, a little Don Quixote and Sancho Panza magnet. So number 5 is office supplies and stationery, and I'm a bit of a stationery nut. I love pens and I love all that kind of stuff. But surprisingly I didn't have too much that I wanted to show in a bookish kind of way. I do have a couple of notebooks here to show. This is a penguin journal. It's got a number of penguin spines on the cover. It's just a standard lined notebook that I haven't written in at all. That seems to happen a lot. And the most gorgeous one I've got is one of these paper blanks notebooks, and this one is a Jane Eyre quote notebook. So we've got Charlotte Bronte's signature here. This is some of her handwriting of a quote from the book. And on the back it says Charlotte Bronte and her life, Jane Eyre. And honestly, all the things from paper blanks are just a work of art. They're so gorgeous. Again, I've not written in this at all. I don't know what I am going to put in here one day, but I just, so pretty. And I'm going to count this in stationery as well. This is what appears to be just a plain basic notebook. Why are you showing me this, Tanya? But this is my reading journal of sorts. This is something that I've been writing everything that I've read since the end of 2003 in. When I was in 2003, I was in year 10, and they started us having to keep a journal of everything we read during the year. So I faithfully wrote that out on paper and handed that in at the end of the year. And by the time I got to the end of the year, I was in the habit of doing it, so I've continued it since. So I've got a full chronicle of everything that I've read since then in here. So not going into any detail, it's just a matter of me listing out all the books and the months. And so it starts Summer Halls 2004. And then the 6th category is the miscellaneous, so anything that didn't fit into any of the previous ones. And I have got a few things for this. So I've got some jewellery, some bookish jewellery. The first item I have is a banned books bracelet, and so it's a whole bunch of covers of banned books. I don't think I've ever actually worn this, but it's a cool thing. This one says I read banned books. Then I have a couple of Lord of the Rings themed necklaces, so I've got this replica of Arwen's Evenstar. The focusing is not behaving at all today. And the second one I have is Bilbo and Frodo's sword Sting. And it's got the writing on it there. I've got some bookends. On one of my shelves there are these owl bookends, so there's 2 of those. They're identical, so I've only bought one. And then my favourite bookends, which I fell in love with, are cat and mouse bookends. So we've got this side, it's got a cat peeping over, and then the other side is a little mouse and a stack of books. So these are not actually holding anything up at the moment really. They're sitting on top of our bookshelf because we've run out of space to have them in there. But I love these so much. Next I have some bookish toys. So again, when I was overseas last year, when we were in the Netherlands, in Utrecht, I got this little Miffy toy, and she's wearing a Delft style dress. Miffy is from the Netherlands. She's called Ninja over there, and my mother's side of the family's heritage is Dutch, so it was great visiting Utrecht, which is my grandmother's hometown, and we climbed the Dom Toren. And I got Ninja here. And then when we were in London, we visited a store that was entirely devoted to Moomins, and so I got a Moomin when I was there. These are from the Moomin books by Tove Jansson. I'd never read any of these books as a child. It's something that I've come to a bit later, but I definitely love them. I think they were such a cute kids series, and so it was funny going to a store that was entirely devoted to Moomins, and this is the one that I brought home. And then the most special, well no, there's some other really special stuff, but one of the most special and my favourite book swag items is something that nobody's going to recognise, but it's another thing from the webcomic Questionable Content, and that is my Yelling Bird Squishable. So Yelling Bird is a character that's kind of a filler character for when the author of the webcomic doesn't have time to get the comic out. Yelling Bird is a completely foul-mouthed, horrible character. He comes out with some disgusting things in his little filler comics. But they had this Squishable, and I had to have it. He's just so soft and so lovely. Yellingbird actually usually sits on this chair in the corner. I've kicked him out now that I've begun filming in here, but this is his perch, and he's really huge. And the last things I have to show, I'm really excited about. There's some posters that I've recently got framed, and they haven't gone up yet, but they're all bookish and I'm really excited about them. So the first one I have is this Fiction Island poster, and it's from the Thursday Next series by Just Before. This is from the 6th book, One of Our Thursdays is Missing. There's a cat. The second one is one of the lithograph posters that has the full text of a book on it. This one is The Secret Garden. The text isn't as clear as I would have liked, but it does look beautiful, all framed up. And the last one, and my favourite, is this book map. So it's based off a map of London, and it's all just a whole bunch of book names. And the best part about this is this section down the bottom is a whole listing of all the names of everything that is mentioned in the map, and so I can't wait to go through them and write them all down and see how many of these I've actually read. There are apparently over 600 titles mentioned through the whole map, and I'll definitely be making it a project to see how many of these I can actually read. So quite a few of the people that I was going to tag have been tagged in this already. And so I'm just going to tag some people whose channels I've been enjoying watching lately or have been commenting on some of my videos. I've just subscribed to a new person, and that's Ness over at WanderNess, so I'm going to tag you. I'm going to tag Brittany at the Library of Brittany. I'm going to tag Mercedes at Mercy's Bookish Musings. And I'm going to tag Rincey over at Rincey Reads and Jenny at Adultish Books, because this was a fun tag and it might be nice to have a bit of a wind down from War and Peace. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!